All right, friends. It is Canto 33 and 34 time. Page 295. For one last time, page number snobs. Line 1. Jaws lifted now from that horrible dish, the sinner, wiping clean each lip on hair that fringed the mess he'd left the head in at its rear, began. You asked that I should tell anew the pain that hopelessly in thought alone before I voice it presses at my heart. Yet if I may, by speaking, sow the fruit of hate to slur this traitor, caught between my teeth and words and tears, you'll see will flow as one. Traitor, treason. Who you might be, I do not know, nor how you've come to be down here. But when you speak, you seem, there's little doubt, a Florentine. Florence, Italy. Oh, wait, Florence.
Yeah, Florence, Italy.
Why did I think French for a second? You need to see I was Count Ugolino. This is Ruggieri, the Archbishop there. Archbishop, Catholic Church, one of the people that would be at a conclave. I'll tell you now why we two are so close. That I, in consequence of his vile thoughts, was captured, though I trusted in this man, and after died, I do not need to say. But this cannot have carried to your ears, that is, how savagely I met my death. You'll hear it now, and know if he has injured me. One scant slit in the walls of Eagle House, because of me, they call it now the Hunger Tower. Hunger Games.
Hunger Tower.
Be sure, though, others will be locked up there. Had shown me, in the shaft that pierces it, many new moons by now, when this bad dream tore wide the veil of what my future was. Line 28, page 297. This thing here then appeared to me as master of the hounds, who tracked the wolf, his cubs as well, out on the hill where Luca hides from Pisa. Probably Pisa, yeah. The Leaning Tower. I'm going back and highlighting a couple things. Can somebody look up Hunger Tower?
I assume it's similar to the Tower of London.
Line 31. In front, as leaders of the pack, he placed the clans Giulandi, Sismond, and Lanfranchi. They're bitches, hunting eager, they're lean and smart. The chase was brief. Father and sons, it seemed, were wearying us, and soon, or so it seemed, I saw those sharp fangs raking down their flanks. So I think when he says bitches, he's talking about dogs hunting. Not like my girls or whatever. The chase with 34. Sorry. 37, thank you. I woke before the day ahead had come, and heard my sons, my little ones were there, cry in their sleep and call out for some food. How hard you are if, thinking what my heart foretold, you do not feel the pain of it. Whatever will you weep for, if not that? By now they all had woken up. The time was due when, as routine, our food was brought. Yet each was doubtful, thinking of their dream. Listening, I heard the door below locked shut, then nailed in place against that dreadful tower. I looked in their dear faces and spoke no word. I did not weep. Inward I turned to stone. They wept, and then my boy Anselmo spoke. What are you staring at? Father, what's wrong? And so I held my tears in check and gave no answer all that day, nor all that the night that followed on, until another sun came up. A little light had forced a ray into our prison, so full of pain. I now could see on all four faces my own expression. Out of sheer grief I gnawed on both hands, and they, who thought I did so from an urge to eat, all and in the instant rose and said, "Father, for us the pain would be far less if you would chose to eat us. You, having dressed us in this wretched flesh, ought now to strip it off."
Oh.
Damn.
Oh my god, Saturn eating the sun?
Let's see, when was Oedipus written?
Ancient Greece.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dante would have been very familiar with Oedipus and Oedipus Rex, the Euripides plays about the son disguising himself and getting with the mom after murdering the dad. And I think they have kids in Oedipus the King. 299, line 64. So I kept still to not increase their miseries, and that day and the day beyond we all were mute. Hard, cruel earth, why did you not gape wide? And then, as then we reached the fourth of all those days, Gatto pitched forward, stretching at my feet. "Help me," he said. "Why don't you help me, Dad?" And there he died. You see me here. I saw them, the three remaining, falling one by one between the next days, 5 and 6, then let myself, now blind, feel over them, calling on each. Now all were dead, and for 2 days more. Then hunger proved a greater power than grief. Uh-oh. His words were done. Now, eyes askew, he grabbed once more that miserable skull, his teeth, like any dog's teeth, strong against the bone. Oh, he's eating his dead kids. Now that's pretty gory. Okay, if I don't get Lucifer, at least I got eating your kids.
Okay, Tigan. Crazy settlement.
I feel like that needs to go in the book.
I like that there's just one student who calls me out for saying that.
I wouldn't put it past you.
You should say more things like that, Tigan.
People are unhinged. Scare the friends.
Okay, line
They're not
79.
honors English.
Pisa, you scandal... Oh, sorry, this is Dante talking. Pisa, you scandal of the lovely land where yes is uttered in the form of... C? Oh, maybe that's like C, like Spanish. Your neighbors may be slow to punish you, but let those reefs, Caprea and Gorgana, drift as a barrage to the Arno's mouth, so that your people, every one, are drowned. So what if, as the rumor goes, that the great Count Ugolino did cheat fortresses from you? You had no right to crucify his children. Pisa, you are a newborn Thebes. Those boys were young that made them innocent. I've named just 2. I now name Uguccione and Brigata. We now moved on and came to where the ice so roughly swaddled yet another brood, and these, not hunched, bend back for all to view. They weep, yet weeping does not let them weep. Their anguish meets a blockage at the eye. Turned in, this only makes to their heartache more. Their tears first cluster into frozen buds, and then, as though a crystal visor, fill the socket of the eye beneath each brow. Top of 301, line 100. My own face now, a callous in the chill, had ceased to be a throne to any kind of sentiment, and yet, in spite of all, it seemed I felt a wind still stirring here. Who moves these currents, sir? I now inquired. At depths like these, aren't vapors wholly spent? He, in reply, come on, you soon will stand where your own probing eyes shall see what brings this drizzling exhalation on. A case of icy eye scab now yelled out, Wow, that's a great metaphor, man. Icy eye scab yelled out, "You must be souls of such malignancy, evil. You merit placement in the lowest hole. Price off this rigid veil to clear my eyes. Let me a while express the grief that swells in my heart's womb before my tears next freeze." I answered, "Are you asking help from me? Tell me who you are, then I'll free your gaze or travel, promise, to the deepest ice." "I," he replied, "am Brother Alberigo, I of the evil orchard, fruiter. Here I receive exquisite dates for figs." "Oh," I now said, "so you're already dead?" "Well, how my body fares above, still in the world my knowledge is not sure. There is in Ptolemea this advantage, that souls will frequently come falling down before fate Atropos has granted them discharge. I very willingly would tell you more, but only scrape this tear glaze from my face. The instant any soul commits like me some act of treachery, a demon takes possession of that body, form and rules its deeds until its time is done. Swirling, the soul runs downwards to this sink, and so the body of that shade behind, a twitter, all this winter through. Don't think for a second that Jack Dorsey didn't read this. Where else do you see the word Twitter? Still, it shocks me that Twitter costs $44 billion, but the presidency of the United States only costs Elon Musk $200 million.
Yeah.
That's really, really sad and pathetic when you think about it. And think about what the world thinks, that you can just buy the presidency and then run the government into the ground by tearing it apart. And we're only beginning to feel the pain. Like grandma not getting her Social Security check, that's coming.
Grandma's dead.
You know what I mean.
Grandma's my best friend.
You know people on Social Security disability. You know people on Medicare and Medicaid. That pain is going to be felt by the people that can't afford to feel it. And that's not even getting into grocery prices, which are going to go through the roof. And shelves are going to be empty. Okay, sorry, YouTube. A Twitter, all this winter through, still seems up there perhaps. You're bound to know, arriving only now, that this is Senor Branca, hook hand, diarrhea. Years have gone by since he once ice-packed here. I think, I said, that this must be a con, for how can Branca Dioria be dead? He eats and drinks and sleeps and puts his clothes on. Recall that ditch named Rotclosville, where higher up they brew adhesive pitch. Well, long before Mike Zanchi got to that, hook hand was history. He as proxy left a devil in his skin, his kinsman here as well, the one who planned here with him the double cross. But please, now reach your hand to me down here. Open my eyes for me. I did not open them. To be a swine in this case was pure courtesy. You Genovese, it's a region in Italy, deviant, deranged, and stuffed with every sort of vicious canker. Why have you not been wiped yet from the earth? Among the worst of all the Romagnoli, Romagnoli. I found them one of yours whose works were such as so already bathes in Calcuttus. His body seemingly lives on above. Right. I wish I could tell you what all that means. but I can't. Do you wish I would pretend to have all the answers in life?
No.
Alright.
No one does. Every day you learn new things that you didn't know yesterday.
It's more respectable if you admit that you don't.
Ooh, an illuminated Gregorian chant. Do you ever listen to Gregorian chants?
Yeah.
They're so peaceful and awesome. Like, have you heard of Enya?
Yes.
Have you heard of
If you haven't, try going on a run to Gregorian chants. It's kind of big.
So when I was, remember the bad girlfriend that I was converting to Catholicism and taking catechism classes for several months, and then I ended up quitting. Lots of Gregorian in there. Meet the traders of benefactors. So like you're. Yes.
There he is!
Yes.
He looks so
Yay.
badass. But so
Oh, he's
He looks
eating
fuzzy.
humans.
He looks like
He looks fluffy.
he kind of looks like a Play-Doh fun machine.
he does.
Yeah.
Lucifero. Come on, say it in
Lucifero.
Lucifero.
Love Tigan's audible gas.
That wasn't just a gasp. That was the wind taken out of his soul.
Oh my God.
He sold
I'm
his soul to Lucifer.
very excited. All right, Canto 34, people. Let's do this.
Do it,
Let's
Tigan.
go. Canto 28. Just do it. Canto 28. Pisses me off. Canto whatever. Fig F. Line 1. Vexelejas produent inferni. Marching towards us, fix your eyes ahead, my teacher said, and see if you can see it, as though a windmill, when a thick fog breeze, or else when dark night grips our hemisphere, seen from a distance turning in the wind, so there a great contraption had appeared, and I now shrank against the wind behind my guide. There were no glades to shelter in. I was by now, I write this verse in fear, where all the shades, fourth wall, line 11, where all the shades in ice were covered up, transparent as are straws preserved in glass. Some lay there flat, and some were vertical, one with head raised, another soles aloft, another like a bow, bent face to feet. And then, when we had got still further on where now my master chose to show to me that creature who had once appeared so fair, he drew away from me and made me stop, saying, "Now see, great Dis, now see the place where you will need to put on all your strength." How weak I now became, how faded, dry reader, don't ask. I shall not write it down, for anything I said would fall far short. I neither died nor wholly stayed alive. Just think yourselves, if your minds are in flower, what I became, bereft of life and death. That might be my favorite of the whole text.
It's a good one.
25 to 27. I would definitely be quoting that
You'd get that.
if I was a student. 28, page 307 at the top. The Emperor, of all these realms of gloom, stuck from the ice at midpoint on his breast, and I, more a giant to compare than any giant measured to his arm. So now you'll see how huge the whole must be when viewed in fit proportion to that limb. If once he was as lovely as now vile, when first he raised his brow against his maker, then truly grief must all proceed from him. It's funny, it's the second time he's called how lovely he was in life, right? Because that was Lucifer's thing, right? He was like he was like God's favorite. angel, and then he betrayed him.
We actually don't have that much lore
Lucifer.
from the Bible. Most of it's from like Dante's Inferno and stuff like that. Because they actually don't speak on him that much in the Bible.
Yeah, that's another reason why I'm not a
It's
big
fan-
fan of King James, taking 8 books out of Genesis and just leaving 3 in there.
So Dante's Inferno, it's a fanfic. Like we've been saying the whole time.
And truly grief must receive.
The Canon Bible or the Canon?
Line 37. How great a wonder is now seemed to me to see 3 faces on a single head. The forward face was brilliant vermilion. What color is vermilion?
Vermilion is
Red.
orange.
It's like reddish orange.
Yes, it's a bright reddish orange.
Kind of like tomato soup.
Yeah.
40. The other 2 attached themselves so that along each shoulder on the central point and joined together at the crest of hair. The rightward face was whitish, dirty yellow. The left in color had the tint of those beyond the source from which the Nile first swells. Behind each face there issued 2 great veins, all 6 proportioned to a fowl like this. I never saw such size in ocean sails.
Those are big.
Now, not feathered as a bird's wings are, bat-like and leathery, each fanned away the air. Oh. So 3 unchanging winds moved out from him. Cositus, being frozen hard by these, he wept from all 6 eyes, and down each chin both tears and bloody slobber slowly ran. In every mouth he mangled with his teeth, as flax combs do, a single sinning soul, but brought this agony to 3 at once. Such biting, though, affects the soul in front as nothing to the scratchings he received. His spine at times showed starkly bare of skin. That one up there, condemned to greater pain, is Judas Iscariot, my teacher said. So Judas had betrayed Jesus.
Do you know the this short film on Instagram called Judas Iscariot? You should look into it. They're all furries.
Oh. Okay.
I think you'd like it.
His head, bottom of 307. His head inside, his feet out, wriggling hard. Top of 309, 64 line. The other 2, their heads hung down below, are Brutus. Brutus assassinated Julius Caesar. Remember, Caesar is the name, is Italian for king, or Roman for king. Dangling from the jet black snout, look how he writhes there, uttering not a word. The other, Cassius, with his burly look. I think another Roman that did something bad. But night ascends once more, and now it's time for us to quit this hole. We've seen it all. As he desired, I clung around his neck with... Again, they're touching. With purpose, he selected time and place, and when the wings had opened to the full, he took a handhold on the furry sides, and then, from tuft to tuft, he traveled down between the shaggy pelt and frozen crust. But then, arriving where the thigh bone turns, the hips extended to their widest there, my leader, with the utmost stress and strain, swiveled his head to where his shanks had been and clutched the pelt like someone on a climb. So now I thought, we're heading back to hell? Take care, my teacher said. By steps like these, breathless and panting, seemingly all in, we need to take our leave if so much ill. Then, through a fissure in the fissure in that rock he passed, and set me down to perch there on its rim. After, he stretched his careful stride towards me. Raising my eyes, I thought that I should see Lucifer where I, just now, had left him, but saw instead his legs held upwards there. If I was struggling then to understand, let other dim wits Think how they'd have failed to see what point it was that I now passed. Wonder if he invented dimwit.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Actually,
Like, Barb says that all the time. Up on your feet, my teacher ordered me. The way is long, the road is cruelly hard. The sun is at the morning bell already. This was no stroll, where now we had arrived through any palace but a natural cave. The ground beneath was rough, the light was weak. Top of 311, line 100. Before my roots are torn from this abyss, sir, I said upright. To untangle me from air, say a little more of this. Where is the ice? And why is that one there fixed upside down? How is it that the sun progressed so rapidly from evening on to day? And he, in answer, you suppose you're still on the side of the center where I gripped that worm rot's coat that pierces all the world? While I was still descending, you were there. But once I turned, you crossed with me the point to which from every part all weight drags down. So you stand here beneath the hemisphere that now is covered wholly with dry land, and under the highest point at which there died the one man sinless in his birth and life. Oh. Are they like in Bethlehem? Your feet are set upon a little sphere that forms the other aspect of Judaica? The one man in birth and life, that's got to be Jesus, right?
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what Kale was saying.
Line 118. It's morning here. It's evening over there. That thing that made... So, Dante knows that the world is round.
Oh my god.
Which is...
Educated people did.
Which is heresy. The church would have said you're going to hell for thinking that.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that, at least the other day when you weren't here, we talked about the fact that scientific
People knew that
stuff was
quite early on.
Yeah,
At least if you were educated.
because this is.
But it was heresy still.
Right.
We might have whispered that the Earth is a sphere, but we would never have said it out there.
Columbus thought it was a pear.
But we can get into Galileo and Copernicus and that stuff later.
Judaica is an island in Italy.
Oh, thank you. Sphere. Yeah, your feet are set upon a little sphere that forms the other aspect of Judaica. It's morning here, it's evening there. The thing that made a ladder of his hair is still as fixed as he has always been, falling from heaven when he reached this side. The lands that then spread out to southern parts in fear of him took on a veil of sea. Falling from heaven. So Lucifer. These reached our hemisphere. Whatever now is visible to, probably even hemisphere would be heresy, heretical. Whatever now is visible to us, in flight perhaps from him, took refuge here and left an empty space. There is a place, as distant from Beelzebub as his own tomb extends in breadth, known not by sight but rather by the sound of waters falling in a rivulet, eroding by the winding course it takes, which is not very steep, an opening in that rock. So now we entered in that hidden path, my lord and I, to move once more towards a shining world. We did not care to rest. Top of 313, line 136. We climbed, he going first and I behind, until through some small aperture I saw the lovely things the skies above us bear. Now we came out and once more saw the stars.